Hey, hey, come on through, come on through, come on through. Get into the virtual room and tag a biz bestie. Tag your friend, your sister girl, an entrepreneur entourage, somebody, anybody, everybody needs to be in this room so we can get into it today. Hello, welcome or welcome back. It is your girl, Katrina Marie, Coach Katrina here, your boss chick biz coach, and of course, your fearless leader. Listen, I want to welcome you into another episode of A Daily Dose of Vitamin D3. This is where we're giving you insights, having stimulating conversations, giving you what you're craving, what you're missing, and talking about where it is you're deficient so that you can take this information and turn things into any aspect of your life, really, your business or your life. Take the information I'm giving you, use it as a supplement, okay? Because wherever it is you're missing or whatever it is you're lacking, you need this information as you are on the journey in your path to freedom so that you have exactly what you need in order to succeed, aside from what you already have internally. Because yes, you are actually equipped with everything you need right now, but I'm equipping you with more tools and resources. Oh, my chair's going down. I hate when it does that. More tools and resources that are available to you, but you may not exactly know because you don't have what's up in my mind, right? What's up in my head. So I'm giving that to you, the supplement that you need every single day. I'm bringing you the sunshine, the vitamin D3, right? Every single day. So what's good, y'all? Come on in here. Like I said, let me know you're here. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and invite someone in the room. So I got about 20 minutes with you. I'm doing this in between. I got one more client call today, so I'm doing this in between time. All right, I thank you for being here. And we are talking today about, what do you think? Any guesses? All right, let me make sure everything is synced here and that my notifications are off. I got to do this at the top of the hour, y'all, because if I don't, when we get started, then all of a sudden I get these notifications that interrupt me, and I don't like that interrupting my live stream because then it makes my mouth not match the movement. You know what I mean? Like an old Kung Fu movie. Am I dating myself? So anyways, if you're ready to swap your employee badge for the CEO title, then we're going to talk about how to transition smoothly, by the way, and seamlessly from your job as an employee to entrepreneurship. Who doesn't want that, right? There are so many people, you in particular, I'm talking to you, who want to be in business. And you might want to know what the steps are. Now, I take my clients through a very precise journey, but I'm going to give you some very specific tips today, about 5. And if you stick around to the end, or at least come back and watch the replay, I promise you a bonus in the end here, okay? So I'm going to try to do this in about 20-ish minutes. Don't hold me to it. At most, you might be spending about 30 minutes here. So if you just can't stick around for the whole length of time, I understand. I don't feel bad about it. You shouldn't either. Come back and watch the replay when you do have time, because this is going to be great information if you are ready to swap that ID badge, okay? And make sure that you are on your way, well on your way to seamlessly transitioning from employee to employer. How does that sound? All right, and I'm going to be taking my sips of water. I hope you got something to stay hydrated, and go get you something right now to write with, because you know I never come to disappoint. All right, if you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back for more, welcome back. Every day I'm doing these episodes. You have me for one more week. I want to make a couple of announcements before we get into it. You have me for one more week, meaning next Monday, the last day of this month, will be the last live stream I do for a while, okay? Okay, this chair is like really driving me nuts. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. I'm just going to bring it all the way down. Why not? Bring it all the way down, and then let me just do like this. Okay, then that way it just doesn't matter, okay? Now, because it keeps slipping for some reason. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing well out there. You know what? Here's what I want to say. The first announcement I want to make is that this is the last month I'm doing the live stream for a while, okay? Because stay on topic, y'all, okay? If you're just coming in here to ask random questions, this ain't the live stream for that, okay? I'm here to give you really good information and great value for those who actually want the information. So please don't come in here trolling my page or asking any random questions that don't have nothing to do with the live stream. And don't try to be distracting or anything like that. You will either get blocked or you'll just be ignored. Either way, okay? Just so you know, that's how I roll over here. So let me see if I can fix this darn chair without it. Okay, let's see if that works. Girl, okay, that's just too much. So if I start slipping again and going down, 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 you'll know why. Okay, I'm gonna have to get that tightened up, but I ain't got the time right now. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So this is the last week, by the way, or last week, let's see, what's today? Yeah, next Monday ends the first quarter. Okay, so that ends Q1, also ends the month of Women's History Month, and it also ends my live stream show. Okay, so I'll be giving you some new announcements on next Monday. I just want to mention this again if you didn't catch me live yesterday, and I mentioned this as well. The other thing I wanted to announce, and here's a big deal. If you are a woman of color, specifically a Black woman, okay, specifically a Black woman, and I say that because this particular speaking engagement that I'm participating in this year, and I'm speaking at many engagements this year, this one in particular that's going to be hosted by Dr. Kamani Norton Sands, okay? She is a job liberator, okay, and a toxic job survivor. And she is on a mission, her and Marissa Price, as am I, to free as many Black women from being an employee and feeling stuck in that role and feeling like they are just don't have anywhere to go, right? Or they're in a toxic job or a hostile work environment and they need out like yesterday. Also, if you are really interested in starting your own business and maybe you've started the steps or you don't know what the steps are, you need a roadmap or a blueprint or some help, some support to guide you, someone to actually take you through the process. That's what I'm here for, okay? But also there's a whole line of speakers, wonderful speakers that's going to be at this event. The event sells out very quickly. They did it for the first time last year and they're going to be doing it again this year. So this is the second year that this is going to happen. They will be, let's see, the event is actually in May 16th through the 18th. Okay, I'm speaking on the 18th. So it's a weekend. So they thought through that, right? If you're working in a 9-to-5 traditional job, we're considering all of that. So you can actually join, register. And if you can't attend for some reason, okay, you can actually get the replay if you pay for that. So I'll leave the link below in the pinned comments. It's also going to be in the description box. I also said that yesterday on my live stream and I didn't have time. So I'll make sure I have it in both videos so that you have that information readily available to you. If you are a Black woman wanting to leave the corporate arena, you want out of your job, your 9-to-5, the traditional corporate career path, we're going to help you do what you got to do to make that happen so that we can put you on your path to freedom. So be sure that you register early because right now tickets as of yesterday are on sale. Okay, only for a limited time. Then once we run out of those tickets, then it will go to regular price. So you definitely want to get the all access pass right now at the sale price. And be sure to invite somebody into the room as well. It's virtual, so it doesn't matter where you live, okay? You will be able to get access. So that's what I wanted to say at the top of this hour, all right? And then I'll mention it really quickly at the end as we start to close out this live stream. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing I want you to do, and I hope you're taking notes, I'm gonna be dropping some gems. The first thing I want you to do is assess your skills and interests, okay? For example, evaluate what skills you have that are marketable. What are the transferable skills that you have? Soft and hard skills. Those are transferable skills, right? So you have a list of skills, and I've mentioned this before. If you don't exactly know all of your skills, which you should, especially if you are an established person in the corporate space, go ahead and jot those down. But if you need help, like really honing in and identifying what those specific skills are, and you want a real assessment that's scientific based and very, it helps you get more clarity, then I would recommend doing one of those personality tests, which actually, like Strengths Finders, that's a really good one. I usually recommend that, or the DISC assessment test, or any of those personality tests, Myers-Briggs, any of those that you have actually available to you in the corporate arena. Those who, like somebody in HR, can help you figure out what you have available to you, any kind of professional development, the person who deals with all of that, continued education units and things of that nature, they should be able to guide you in the right direction as to how you can get access to that without even being charged. But even if you did have to pay on your own, it's a very nominal fee, and some of those are free, like the DISC assessment, for example. Okay, so do that first, or if you have one, go back and review it, and then just sit down, take some time in a quiet space to yourself with no distractions, no interruptions, and just list those out. That's the first thing we need to know. It's always about assessment. Listen, I think like a nurse thinks, because I am a nurse by profession, been a nurse for over 25 years now and counting. So I'm always going to assess the problem first. We cannot diagnose the problem without assessing it first. So that's the first order of business, okay? And so, and I'll get to some of these questions here shortly. Let me go ahead and get through as much as I can as far as I do see some of your questions coming through. I won't ignore you, okay? So I see you asking about price and that sort of thing. I'll get back to it, but let me know specifically what you're asking for as far as price. If we're going back to the personality test, if you're asking about that, or are you asking about the speaking summit, which I don't even know if I mentioned the name of it. It's called the Job Liberation Virtual Summit for Black Women. Okay, so if you're talking about that, let me know. But I'm gonna have the comments, the information in the pinned comment, so you can click on that. It will take you directly to the information page and give you all the information you need. And if you have follow-up questions, you can leave a comment for me, and I'll be happy to answer those there. Okay. All right, so assess your skills. So evaluate what skills you have that are marketable, that can be turned into a business opportunity, okay? For instance, if you are a graphic designer right now in corporate, or a web developer, or a coach and consultant, or an educator, you literally, or I won't even say educator, I'm gonna stick with freelance work. If you wanna be a freelancer, which when we get to the bonus at the end here, I'm gonna talk more about that. But a freelancer, as I've said before here on my live streams, is really you selling your skill set directly to a client, right? And a client can be a business, a small business like mine. It can be a larger company, right? It can be to another client. So just depends. But if you're like someone who's doing that right now in corporate, then that's an easy transferable skill, right? So that's what I mean when I say think about what your hard and soft skills are and what you can transfer from corporate to the business world. All right. The next example I want to give is I want you to identify your gaps. So in other words, you might already have what it takes right now to be whatever it is you do in corporate. That's what makes you the expert. That's why they hired you. And since you've been at this job, you've learned quite a bit, right? So you want to take those skills and market those skills, but you also want to close the gap. So what do I mean by that? That means if you don't know anything about marketing, if you don't have a financial background and you lack financial literacy to some degree, or to a great degree, right? If you don't know anything about business per se, like certain aspects of it, because a lot of us know how to do our jobs, we don't necessarily know how to run a business, which is why you need a coach like me who's a business coach, right? Who can teach you the ins and outs of business, but you're coming with the industry expertise. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we merge those two things together to help you get there. Now, if you don't know a particular skill, then you definitely want to go ahead and think about what it is you're missing, where it is you're lacking, where it is you're deficient, right? What we're talking about today as a part of this daily dose, I'm giving you what you need because you're deficient in these areas. So you're going to take those areas where you're lacking, where you're deficient, where there's a gap that needs closure, and you're going to go get the training you need, a workshop, a masterclass, work with a coach, online course, something that's going to help you with this continued education so that you can get the information you need in order to succeed in this area. Okay, so as far as the personality test, let's see, is it Fortnite Lawless? The personality test you can do for free, okay? So when we're going back to talking about assessment, you can actually, I would highly recommend the DISC, D-I-S-C test, okay? That is, you can do for free. Now there are various versions. Choose which one. They're all great. I like the original, okay? It's very thorough. But Tony Robbins offers an abbreviated version of that. It's also very, very good. Okay. It's all going to help you get to the same information for the most part. Just some are broken down more than others. So I would start there. Myers-Briggs is one. Strength Finders is another. And there are a lot of them out there. As far as pricing, you'll have to do your homework because I haven't done a personality test like that in a long time. To be quite honest, I do still have my results from those, and it's very helpful to just every now and again review what that looks like and what that means for you, depending on where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, or if you were to transition to another job. That's not my ministry. I don't teach that here, right? I'm trying to help you get out of a job, but I'm just saying, like, whatever you might want to use it for later, it's just good to know. But this would be a great time that if you've done one of those before to pull that out and review it. If you haven't, I would advise for you to then go and check out some of the ones I've listed, or just do a Google search. Google is your best friend, ChatGPT, and just type in what personality tests are available and what are the costs associated. For the most part, you can either take one of those through your employer. Okay, I would tap in with HR. You don't need to tell them why, obviously. I wouldn't. I would just simply say, do you offer that here? And if not, then you can probably pay some sort of nominal fee for that, or just do the DISC test for free. Does that help? Okay. What's next? So identifying the gaps, we talked about that. Okay. Definitely financial literacy, anything that's going to be helpful to you in that regard. Second thing I want you to do, I hope you're keeping notes. Okay. Develop a business plan. Develop a business plan. Now, by business plan, I don't mean you need to do the whole shebang. Quite honestly, a business plan, the main reason why you need a business plan is really, it's a roadmap. Good. I'm so glad that helps. It's really a roadmap for you to, it's kind of like, the way I like to describe it is, you wouldn't just get in your car if you're smart, right? And if you're going to unfamiliar territory and you're taking a trip somewhere, it can be in a new state, it can be in the state you're from and that you live in, but you might not be familiar with how to get to this destination. So on the way, you want to make sure you map things out, because otherwise you're just in your car driving, you're blindly driving to this destination. You don't know where the gas stations are along the way. You don't know where you're going to sleep at night. When you get tired, you don't know where you're going to stop and rest. You don't know where things are, like, right? You don't know if it's going to be a detour. You don't know if it's a safe place to be. So you want to do your research beforehand, before you get in the car and gas it up and just start driving, right? So before you take your road trip, you're going to make plans. If nothing else, it's a plan for you to know where you're going, right? How you're going to get there. You're right here, right now, but how are you going to get to that destination? That's the question. The other thing is you're going to need it for venture capital at some point. So when you're growing your business, especially when you're scaling your business, you're going to need to use other people's money, and you're going to need a proven concept, a proven strategies, proven, like, everything that you're doing in business. The bank or the lender, they're going to need to know what you've done on your own, what skin you've put in the game, what's been your sweat equity, right? How have you leveraged whatever, your skill set is, and whatever the platforms are that you're using so far. Like, they're going to ask all these questions. And so you're going to have it for that reason. But in the beginning, I would say you can definitely do an abbreviated version. And by that, I mean, because let me just tell you the truth. I have gone through this whole process in the very beginning when I started my business back in 2016. And let me just tell you, no sooner than I created that very extensive, by the way, it took me quite a while to get through this very thorough, comprehensive business plan. And it's obsolete pretty immediately, right? Like, just a few weeks into or months into the business, there was a lot that had already changed. So I would say at bare minimum, you want to know, have a marketing plan, and you want to know what, at least your business model is going to be. We're going to talk about that at some point in this conversation, okay? And I won't go into detail about that right now, because I want to stay on topic with what I'm going to get into next, which is target marketing. So make sure you're outlining in this business plan your business idea, okay? Listen, I don't even want to say President Trump. I call him Donald Trump, the orange man. Now, I don't know if you're against him or for him, but he is not my cup of tea, okay? I didn't vote for him. Let's just go there. I'll go ahead and put that out there. I don't mind saying that. I am a hardcore Democrat, and I definitely didn't vote for Donald Trump of all people, okay? I didn't vote for him the first time, damn sure not the second time. However, even he has a concept of a plan, okay? He didn't go any further than that. So at least you should have a concept of a plan, okay? So make sure you have an idea. Know who your target market is. Listen, you can have the best offer in the world. You can have the best service in the world. You can be the best at what you do. If you don't know who you are selling that to, it does nobody any good, right? You've got to know who, you got to understand niche marketing, right? What segment of the market are you carving out, and who are you actually selling your product or service to, or product and or service to? You might be doing both, but you have to at least know that at the bare minimum, right? We need some bare bones essentials here. So who are you selling it to? What is your specialty area? Because we want to be specialists, not generalists, because we cannot be everything for everybody, or we'll end up selling nothing to no one, okay? We have to be specific. When you go to a doctor, you don't go to a generalist, right? If you have a specific problem. If you have skin issues, you go see a dermatologist. If you have heart issues, you go see a cardiovascular doctor, right? You go see a cardiologist. If you are having issues with diabetes or something going on and you're not quite sure internally, you go see an internal doctor, internal medicine doctor, because they're specialists. They do this all day, every day. This is what they specialize in. They went to school like all other doctors, and then they went to a very specialized school for the additional training, and this is what they help you with. So I'm not going to go to somebody for my skin issues if I had skin issues, if the doctor is an OBGYN doctor, because she's dealing with women's health issues. How is she going to help me with my skin issues? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you want to be very specific, and that's how you got to think of niche marketing. Okay. Now, going back to the business plan, just to make sure I've covered everything, competitive analysis is very important. Okay. For example, if you plan to start, I don't know, a vegan bakery, or maybe you want to be doing meal prep for vegans, and you have a very specialized recipes and ingredients that go into these recipes, and a special way you prep these meals and what have you. And maybe you want to have a delivery service or something of that sort, right? I'm just giving an example here. If that's the case, how do you identify yourself in the market? What are the unique offerings that you actually have that you serve up to the market? Is the market demanding that from you? Is there enough demand for that, right? Is somebody else doing what you're doing or something similar? And then how can you identify what your unique service proposition is, or your unique value proposition is? You may have heard that as USP or UVP, okay? Interchangeably, they are used. Either way, you've got to identify what that is so that you know what makes you special, right? What makes you the unicorn here. So for example, we can take me as an example. I like to use myself as an example, and we're at about 20-ish minutes right now. I'm going to go to probably 30 minutes just because I need time to get through the rest of this. And I'm keeping an eye on the time as well, because I do have one more client to meet with. Now, I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness educator. I deem myself that because of my background. So I have a background in 30 years in corporate America, 25 years in healthcare as a nurse, right? And I also have a legal background and an HR background. I have merged those things, taken that in combination, and decided that I am going to use my nursing background in combination with the years of experience I have in corporate America. And since I took myself and many clients too through the process after I've done it for myself, transitioning from corporate America to business ownership, to entrepreneurship, in the online space specifically, that I can now teach you how to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business without sacrificing your soul and sanity or compromising your health and happiness. That's a pretty bold promise. How can I do that? Because I've done it myself, and because it's in alignment with my background. Does that make sense? So you have to be thinking about that for yourself, right? What makes sense for you, and then bring that to the market. So another thing is detail your funding strategy, okay? Detail your funding strategy, whether it's personal savings or small business loans or venture capital, which I alluded to earlier, I talked about earlier for a moment. Create financial projections that are at least 3 years out. Now you can go as, you don't want to do anything less than 3 years. You can go 5 years, you can go beyond, but definitely at the 3-year mark should be the minimum, okay? The other thing is, and I'm going to get through this as quickly as I can now, number 3, because we're only on number 3, I have 5, so 2 more for you. Legal administration setup, okay? An example would be to choose the right business structure. So LLC, C Corp, S Corp, what is it for you? Now some people don't know that you can actually be a sole proprietor and you can still be, or even in general partnership, but you can be a sole proprietor and still be a single member LLC. Now I can help you with some of the basics of that, but what you want to do is get with somebody who's an expert in this area so that, everybody's got to stay in their lane, right? I know the basics. I can help you set up the foundation of that. However, I'm not the expert in this lane, okay? So I would advise you to get with, someone who offers a company, an agency who offers legal services that can help you with your business formation. There are lots out there. LegalZoom is one that I highly recommend. I don't even have an affiliate with them. I'm just telling you, I've used them in the past and they have very good services. They've never steered me in the wrong direction. However, they're not attorneys. They have access to attorneys. They have attorneys in their database. They can connect you with an attorney. But if you want to really go the full mile, I would definitely make sure you get connected to an attorney who deals with business formation for your business entity to make sure that you're setting up yourself for success, your business setting up your business for success right at the beginning, okay? You don't want any confusion or confunction around all of that. You need clarity when you're starting. Any business that best protects your personal assets is what you're going to need. And they all have different tax advantages, right? Different tax implications. So you want to make sure you're getting with someone to include your CPA. Once you might want to talk to a CPA if you have one, or a tax accountant or a tax attorney. I mean, I have both. And also you want to make sure you're for sure talking to an attorney who has this background and experience, who can definitely guide you and support you along this journey and help you to set that up properly, okay? So a lawyer or a business advisor is what you're going to need to make the best decision for that. Also, you want to register your business, right? As a DBA or FBN, meaning fictitious business name, or doing business as, if you're not doing business with your own name, right? Now, some people are doing business with their own name and they might tag LLC behind it if they are in fact an LLC, right? Or some other business structure. But for the most part, lots of people, unless you're a personal brand, are typically actually formulating, getting their business structure together using a DBA or an FBN, okay? So understand the tax obligations, understand that you're ensuring that you are complying with the law. That's why you really do need to get with somebody who understands the law and who best to get on your side other than an attorney, right, in this area. So just make sure that so that you're avoiding any future legal issues, you for sure want to make sure that you are getting with somebody who really, really knows the legal implications of all of this, okay? We're talking about legalities, formalities, and logistics. When we're thinking of that, you always want to be thinking smart. And the way to think smart is to get with an attorney or a business advisor or both. I would advise both, okay? And for sure, a business coach. All right, number 4. Did I say number? Okay, number 3. Number 4 is build your brand and your online presence. Listen. We cannot be an online business or an online brand if we don't want to put ourselves out there and be visible, right? So we have to be visible in the online space or we're going to become invisible. Hello to you, and thank you for those who are tuning in, watching live. And if you're catching me on the replay, hello to you as well. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And we're talking today about transitioning from employee to entrepreneur. Okay, so if that suits your fancy and you missed the live stream from the beginning, definitely go back. Deborah King looks like. Go back to the beginning if you're interested and watch the replay when we're done here, okay? Because we're going to come to a close here in about 5 or less minutes. So I want to just say the next thing is when we're thinking about building or designing your online presence, you want to make sure that you are thinking about the logo and your brand colors and all of that. Yes, right? That's going to make you appealing. That's going to make you stand apart from your competitors. That's going to be unique to you. But we're also thinking about, when we say brand, it goes beyond the beautiful colors and the fonts and the style and all of that. It's about your personal style, right? What matches your personality? What's in alignment with your philosophies? What is your belief system? What hills are you willing to die on? What are your teaching methodologies? What are your, you know what I'm saying? It's about you as a whole person. You are both a personal brand as well as you are a business brand. Those things should be equal and they should be tied together. So you want to make sure that you're very clear on who you are, what you stand for, what you stand on, what you believe in, who you're helping. All of those things tie in, and definitely what your core values are. All of those things in combination need to be in alignment with what your brand is all about. Does that make sense? So you also want to think about personal coaching, what that means to you, right? If you're going to be a coach or consultant, perhaps you're not, but you might be an educator or some other industry expert or service provider, whatever that is for you. Even right now, whether you know it or not, in your corporate job, right? You are still a brand. You are a personal brand. How you show up, what your personality is like, and everything else that I listed out just a minute ago, all of that dictates and determines who you are as a brand, as a personal brand. So you can connect those two things together in your business as well. And if you want to change that up, then you can do that as well, right? This is free will. Like, this is what you want to do for yourself. If you decide to, you're the boss of you, you're the CEO, right? So you also want to have a user-friendly website that offers access to booking sessions, right? You want to make sure that people can get on your calendar. But a website, by the way, just so you know, can be one of your strongest assets and very much an effective marketing tool. If it's used right. Now, you want to use a marketing tool like that, meaning your website, as a lead generation tool, right? And that's why there's a difference between landing pages and websites. Just a quick mention is because landing pages point you to the very thing, the one thing that you're wanting your viewer or your audience or the person who's going to purchase whatever your service or product is from you. You want to point them to the one thing so they opt into that. Whereas a website is more like a virtual storefront. And the difference is then there are a lot of options, just like when you go to a brick and mortar storefront or the mall, right? There are a lot of options. So people can walk into the mall and they're supposed to go to one store and get one or two items, an outfit and some shoes, right? Maybe some makeup, maybe some undergarments, and that's it. But what happens when we go to the mall? Now, I haven't been in a long time, but when we do go shopping, or when we go to somebody's website, in this case, right, to their virtual building or storefront, guess what? We are distracted easily if we're not careful, right? We don't all just go into that store, so to speak, and get exactly what we need. We come out of there with, and we get out and then we realize we didn't even get the thing we went in there for sometimes, right? So that's the difference. There can be a lot of confusion